to go and do another reaction video to SHUNchan, a Japanese YouTuber. So here we go.
So a couple weeks ago, I made a video where I talked about what I find weird about America as a Japanese person, and some of you guys left comments saying that I should make a video where I talk about what I find weird about Japan or what I don't understand about Japan as a Japanese person. So yeah, I guess today's video is going to be me roasting my own country. Hey, Mr. I know so much about Japan. I know you're already getting ready to type a super long comment and trying to debunk me, but what I'm gonna tell you is based on my personal experience and impressions, so yeah, please keep that in mind.
How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion!
I love that clip. I mean, the funny thing is that every Japanese YouTuber receives major criticism from other Japanese people trying to like defend their country. I mean, an opinion is an opinion. It doesn't mean that everyone feels the same way. Like, you can say what you want about me, for example. I'm not gonna get mad. That's what you think. I don't think the same way, but you know, not everyone's gonna think the way you think, so that's why he had to put like a disclaimer.
Alright, get it! There's too much paperwork in Japan. If you want to date somebody, you need a paperwork. I mean, I'm just kidding, but seriously though, one thing that I hate about paperwork in Japan is that you have to handwrite your own resume. I mean, some companies, especially gaishikei or startups, they are fine with printed ones. They moved towards electronic applications or they accept printed resumes. But most of the companies, even big names like Sony, they would still expect you to handwrite your own resume with your picture attached to it. And the picture has to be taken by a professional, which costs a lot. I don't know how it works for expats in Japan, but if you're Japanese, that's their expectation, I think. Yeah. And Japanese university students, like before they graduate,
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I realized that when I came to Japan, there's just so much fucking paperwork, and it's really annoying because, like for example, me, an expat, basically, like, I can't write like hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Like, it's just fucking difficult for me. Like, my wife would take my hand and write. It's fucking embarrassing. It's like if you give a dog a pen and you write your initials or your name, you expect him to know. No, it's fucking difficult. But Japanese expect you to know. Like, that's why I always go with my wife to do these things. And sometimes, which is cool, they let her write it for me instead of me having to force my hand like that. A fucking dog writing his signature. Like, it's fucking impossible, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is, like, if you hand in resumes, like, some places, I mean, not from my experience, but like, you know, they don't expect it to be handwritten. Like, it can be from a computer. But the thing that is weird for me is that, like, when you give a company your resume, like, you have to put your picture on the side. Like, I mean, if that was in America, everybody would be discriminated against. Like, oh, this guy's black, no, we don't want to hire him for this company. Like, oh, this guy's white, let's hire him. Like, it'll be like that. But it's just weird for me that I have to put my fucking picture on a resume. Like, I mean, thank God no one has asked me for it. You know, like, maybe once, you know, but like, it's uncomfortable for me because I don't want to show people what I look like before I get the job. You know, I want them to be surprised after I get the job and then they just accept me, you know. But yeah, it's true.
average, they would apply for at least 20 to 30 companies. So yeah, they would handwrite at least 20 to 30 resumes. And you cannot use pencil, so if you make a mistake, you know, kanji mistake, even a little one, you have to start all over again. So yeah, you can imagine how tiring and stressful it can get. And the reason why Japanese companies still do this is that apparently your handwriting says so much about your personality and character. I guess I can understand their logic.
And the crazy thing about it is that, like, when you apply for colleges and you have to like handwrite your resume, I mean, I understand why Japanese people care about that because, like, for example, like, I've seen a lot of handwriting. Like, if you have shitty handwriting, that means that you're not so smart. Like, if you have really good handwriting, that means you're smart in Japan, apparently. So I understand what he's saying.
A little bit that, you know, they can weed out resumes with messy handwriting because probably they are not so serious about it. But you cannot judge people solely by their handwriting, right? Because there are shitty people with a beautiful handwriting and there are beautiful people like me with a horrible handwriting. So yeah, this custom needs to be abolished right away.
I fucking hate those fucking toilets. Like, for example, like I have really weak knees. Like if I even just squat just a little bit, like it just fucking hurts. Imagine taking a shit like that. Like that's why Japanese people are so healthy. Like they have some toilets that are like that, and then they have normal toilets, and it says Americanized toilets, but it's not everywhere. But you know, like they need to get rid of those toilets because, like, I mean, imagine like I have to go to work, you know, wearing a suit and shit, and that's the only toilet to have. Like, I don't want to spill shit on my ass so I'll take off my clothes because, you know, like the dump is gonna hit the floor and there's gonna be water everywhere, like in a fucking suit, you know. I mean, maybe once I've done it, you know, like I took off my pants, my underwear, so I didn't want to get shit on myself, so yeah, I had no choice, right? That's what happens when you eat human food. But yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but I hate those toilets. In Japan, I use the normal ones.
This mother freaking toilet. They freaking persevere, guys. No matter how much we hate them, they still keep making those, you know, old-fashioned traditional Japanese squat toilets. But this doesn't mean we like them, okay? If people had two options whether they use the regular toilet or Japanese squat toilet, I think 90% of people would use the regular toilet. Those who choose the squat toilet, they're just germophobic. They don't want their butt to touch the toilet seat. I don't get it. I mean, I kinda do get it, but just take a shower, right? But Shun, why are they still making them if the majority of people don't like the Japanese squat toilets? Well, for one, there is the fact that some people would still prefer the Japanese squat toilets, so there's some demand. And for two, apparently it is easier to clean them and the water use efficiency is much higher, so meaning lower cost in maintenance. So places where they don't have much funds, like public schools, for example, the majority of toilets are still those Japanese squat toilets, except the ones for, you know, people with disabilities. And the worst thing is that I cannot do Asian squat. I just can't. There's something wrong with my knees. Back in the day in my school, I was kind of bullied. I was accused of scattering poop all over the toilet. Because, you know, with Japanese squat toilets, you would sometimes encounter those disgusting ones, the ones that people who cannot aim used. I know people are just joking around, but for me as a middle schooler, I hated it. I freaking hated it.
It's funny because when I was in high school, and for example, like you had to take a shit, and you were taking a shit, like people would just walk in and just say, "Hey, yo, he's taking a shit!" Like it was the most annoying thing ever. To the point, like if you had to take a shit, like you would make sure like no one was there, or no one was in the bathroom next to you taking a shit also. You would always like make sure the bathroom was completely locked so people wouldn't come in and start screaming. So in high school, I always had this fear of taking a shit because I didn't want people to know, which is fucking stupid. So I understand scattering poop, how you feel, because like in America, like, you know, I mean, the school I went to in the Bronx, like you took a shit, like everyone always make fun of you. Oh, you're taking a shit, but it's completely natural. It's like breathing air. Like I never understood that logic. But you know, like I had this phobia of taking a shit in school, so I would wait until I was home, or I would do it outside somewhere else, so people wouldn't say anything. But really, really weird, you know. So I understand how you feel.
So yeah, those toilets need to vanish right away.
なら、春今日海鮮丼食べに行こうや。
あ、ごめん、俺海鮮丼食べられへんねん。俺生魚食べられへんねん。
お前それでも日本人かよ。ダッサー。
Oh my god, I don't know how many times I had this conversation. Unpopular opinion, but I think sushi and raw fish is kind of overrated. Don't get me wrong, I do admire those, you know, super high-end professional sushi chefs, you know, how much effort they put into their work. I do admire that, but at the same time, it's still just the rice and raw fish put together. How good can it be? But anyway, if you're a foreigner, there's no expectation for you to like raw fish. We kind of know that it's something you guys might not like. But if you're Japanese, if you don't like raw fish, you're screwed. There's this widespread assumption that every Japanese person should love sushi and raw fish. So Yeah, so every time my friend dragged me to a sushi restaurant, I would sadly sit in the corner and eat a bowl of udon quietly.
I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like, your people shouldn't judge you. I mean, I understand, but it's kind of hard to believe because you're surrounded by an island that's full of fish. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why Japanese people find it weird, but you're not the only Japanese person I know that doesn't like sushi. I've met one other person that doesn't like it. Like, I mean, I understand it's raw. Like, why the fuck would you put something raw in your mouth? You know, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let alone eat it. Especially in America, you ate something raw, like, damn sure it has, like, diseases on it. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. You're absolutely right. It's just sad that people judge you because you don't eat sushi. Other Japanese people, judge you.
So a lot of people hate the fact that while Japan is known for its advanced technology, Japan is still a super cash-oriented society. I get it, especially if you are from a place where people use a credit card or a debit card everywhere they go to. It can be very annoying. But I don't think this really bothers Japanese people as much unless they have experienced how convenient it is to have every place they go to, accept their credit card or debit card. For me, it became annoying only after I came back from my study abroad in the US. But what frustrates me the most is the Japanese ATM machines. So if you are in a society where you are expected to carry around some cash all the time, chances are you need to use ATM machines a lot, right? But Japanese ATM machines make zero sense, seriously. First of all, they have their own operating hours. It's not 24 hours, so they usually close 8 or 9 p.m. Apparently, those ATM machines need a rest from being machines so that they can be machines again in the morning. And even if you manage to go to your bank's ATM before they close, if it's after like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you would still get charged a couple hundred yen. And if you go to the ATM machines at a convenience store late at night or on weekends because your bank's ATMs are resting, you will get charged for like $3 for one single transaction. That's how literally they make money. So if you decide to move to Japan, you really have to get used to withdrawing money from ATM at a certain time of the.
And the crazy thing about that is he's not lying. Like, he's really telling the truth. Because like we're New Yorkers are so used to like just going to the ATM at whatever time. It doesn't matter, 10, 12 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. It's not gonna say no, deny it. It's not gonna say that. In Japan, like Monday through Friday, if you don't go to the you can access the ATM from like maybe like 9:30 to like 10 a.m. right? Or you have until like what? You have until 8 o'clock at night, and then like it doesn't let you withdraw. I'm like, what the fuck? It's an ATM. It's 24 hours. The store is 24 hours, but the ATM is not 24 hours. I'm like, what's the fucking point of it being an ATM? And that shit always got me upset. I didn't realize that until like a couple months of me living here. But like, for example, like let's say that you forget to go shopping Saturday and Sunday and you have no cash whatsoever on you, like you're fucked until Monday. It's just like, oh my god, it's fucking crazy because you forgot to go to the ATM on Friday before 8 p.m. and I'm like, no fucking point. But yeah, it's true.
Otherwise, you'll be losing a lot of money for these overpriced bank fees. So we have an insane number of natural disasters each year, right? Whether it's typhoons, heat waves, heavy rains, or earthquakes and tsunami, they're freaking scary. Especially the last two, earthquakes and tsunami. Japan is located where I think a total of 4 plates meet that are still moving till this day. So we know for sure that we will have a massive earthquake and tsunami once in a while. It's just inevitable. And even with the latest technology we have today, we cannot really predict exactly when and where it will happen. So I'm pretty optimistic about it. Like when I die, I die. But at the same time, like I think a lot of Japanese people have this persistent and constant fear of suffering from a natural disaster all the time. So yeah, that's not something we enjoy too much here in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him, but majority of the time, like from what I've experienced it, like it happens in the countryside. Like I live in the city. I live like in the middle. Of course, it can happen there too anytime. No one knows, but it hasn't. From what I've known, it has never happened in Tokyo. I mean, yeah, you can feel it shaking. You know, like when you watch a certain anime and like the characters like getting stronger and everything shakes. That's what it fucking feels like. You know, like you can feel it. Like, oh, like that guy's over there. I sense him. Like it's like that. You know, but I mean, it's not to the point where I'm scared. But if I go to the countryside like Hokkaido or well, I can't think of anything right now. But yeah, like Yokohama or something. Like yeah, I'm sure it would happen. Even I can't think of it right now on the spot. But yeah, I mean, I don't have no fear, but because I live in Tokyo. But if I was outside of Tokyo, yeah, I would feel the same way he feels.
So Japan is kind of infamous for its lack of free Wi-Fi. So guys, when you come to Japan, actually before you come to Japan, please make sure to do some little research about mobile Wi-Fi or those little SIM cards that you can use temporarily. And this is why we Japanese people rely on mobile data most of the time. And basically there are three big phone carriers in Japan: Docomo, au, and SoftBank. And if you use one of those three, which most people do, your monthly bill is gonna be around 9,000 yen. And this is not even unlimited data or calls, so if you want that, that would be over $100 easily. Yeah, that's how expensive it is. And there are other cheaper options as well, like using a minor carrier's SIM card and stuff like that, which I kinda did, but it was slower and it was around like 5,000 yen still. So I think that's why a lot of people would still prefer, those big companies. Yeah. But I've also heard that Japanese government is trying to lower the price as well. So yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed.
It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Because the most expensive thing here, from what I've experienced, is getting a license, which is just like $3,000, which is fucking crazy. But like they take it off with the taxes. I guess that's why it costs so much, for the government. And then not to mention like what he's saying, like T-Mobile, AT&T. Like Verizon, I miss those companies because like you pay a certain amount a month for unlimited everything, so that way you don't get charged extra. It's normal, like $100 for unlimited everything. I don't remember because it's been like 5 years since I've been in America. But here in Japan, like my phone bill is exactly like 8,000 yen, but you have like 300 gigs, and if you go over, you pay extra, which is fucking stupid. Because I'm so used to having unlimited everything, so like that's how they make their money. Like that's why I only call people when I have Wi-Fi, because if I call outside, like I'm just using gigs for no reason when I need to use it for Google Maps or like using the internet when I'm bored or something. But it's fucking crazy. Like I still can't believe that. Like how is Japan like so technically developed with the technology, but like there's no unlimited plan for internet? I'm just like, damn, Japan. And this is another one I hate, like this one. I get into it after he speaks.
Apparently this ranked number one as the most unwanted or unnecessary tradition in Japan by Japanese people. So what it is, osebo and ochugen, it is a seasonal gift exchanging tradition in Japan. So we send gifts to relatives that live far away from where we live, or in-depth people in general. So it doesn't have to be your family member exactly. Like for example, for companies, they send gifts to their customers or clients and stuff like that. And this is done in order to maintain a good and healthy relationship with your family members that you don't really see often, aka people you don't really know and care about. Personally, I haven't had to go through this as I am still young and don't have a family yet. My parents did this all the time and they're not really a big fan either. I mean, having this expectation to send gifts to people twice a year can be a real pain in the neck, I can imagine that. And I think the reason why a lot of people don't do this tradition anymore is that a lot of people do this rather because it's a tradition and it has always been, not that they really care about the person they are sending the gift to. So yeah, I would hate to go through this when I get older. I mean, I know many people still believe in keeping this tradition, but I don't really care. I mean, I will send a gift for someone whenever I feel grateful for that person, whenever I want to send a gift to someone, not because it's a tradition. And also the fact that this is an exchange, not just one way. If you receive a gift from someone who you haven't sent a gift to, you're basically screwed and you have to rush to a department store and buy a pack of hams or beers. I don't know why, but it's always hams or beers. And yes, department stores sell those pre-packed gifts specifically for this season. So yeah, you could say that this is just their marketing strategy as well.
And you know the weird thing about that though is that like I only send people gifts when it's their birthday or you know like for Christmas. But in Japan like when you move next door to someone for the first time, you have to give them a gift. When you work for a company and you go someplace, you have to give them a gift. You know, when you get a promotion, you have to give them a gift. Or when you go hang out with friends and you guys work together, you have to give them a gift. I think it's so weird. Like why do you have to give someone a gift? It's a silly tradition in my book, because like if I have no like physical relationship with the person, like I care about the person, why would I give them a gift? Like I just think that's weird. And you know, and the thing is, it doesn't stop. Like my wife sends to her family, sends to her friends that she barely sees, and I'm just like, why do you guys like go back and forth? Like it's like tug of war. Like I don't understand that, but I mean it's their tradition, so who am I to judge? But I don't do it.
の思いを込めて冬ギフトはプリマハム
Alright, so those are the things that I don't really like about Japan. I mean, at the end of the day, I still love my country, Japan, and every country has its own pros and cons, right? So yeah, what do you guys think about them? Do you guys think you can tolerate them if you're Japanese? Please let me know in the comments. So yeah, alright, thank you so much guys for watching my video today, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace!
Thank you guys for watching, and that's how I feel. So peace out.